for particular types of conversations. Discord, which was a gaming platform for conversations, is just as vibrant as Reddit at this point around channel conversations. You have Slack. If you talk about channel technology, there's 7 Slack rooms right now. Things like partnershipleaders.com, Cloud Software Association, that are channel leaders talking about better serving their ecosystems. So we're not in LinkedIn anymore. There's 143 different watering holes in this industry. My point is you don't have to go through Ingram, or you don't have to go through D&H. You don't have to go through a VAD in Europe to get access to these rooms. They're peer groups, they're user groups, they're grassroots level communities. And again, you don't have to use the distribution agency, which don't have really access to these conversations anyway, to get access. So it's not a closed room like it was in the 80s or 90s, where the only way to get to 75,000 VARs as a part of a distributor was through their direct podcasts and webinars and brochures and marketing campaigns. These 75,000, and by the way, the millions around the world, are actually open to every vendor to go and directly, play a community role without distribution's help.
And how has that affected the amount of human resource or the number of team members that any of these suppliers have to throw at that? I mean, does it go from, a tight-knit group of a few people up to hundreds of people engaging with these communities?
It's actually shockingly few people. So I worked at a company called Autotask 11 years ago. I left with the founder of Autotask to run another company called Channelize. But keep in mind that Autotask was a community-only company. There was, not very many salespeople. There was not very many marketing people. The effort of go-to-market was all around community. Who did they compete with? ConnectWise. ConnectWise was a community-based company. IT Nation and all the things that ran at ConnectWise. So here's an industry, the MSP, the managed services industry, grew as a community model, not as a selling or marketing model. And so Autotask combined with Datto, and now today is a public company worth $4.2 billion. When I did the list of 100 most important people globally in the MSP channel, the 75,000 MSPs, Rob Ray from Datto was the #1 person of influence in the world. So to get to Rob, to work with Rob, to work within the DattoCon community, or ConnectWise, or Kaseya, or SolarWinds, if you truly want to recruit and drive an MSP strategy, you're not limited to go through distribution to do that. You're actually better off engaging in the 31 communities that drive MSPs directly. And you can do that with one person. A company like Cisco actually hired my wife to do that. You can literally do the entire MSP market and the as a service market with one community manager.
Fascinating. Now, one of the types of organizations you mentioned as well in your report is, let me see if I can grab it, both Meraki and AppDirect. And does the advent, are those sort of cross product with marketplaces, or facilitating rapid growth of marketplaces without like if I'm a reseller, can I jump into this very rapidly without doing any of the traditional things I would normally do? So basically it's like flipping on a business instantly. Is that how that's working?
Yeah, so let me walk through kind of marketplace at a high level and break it into, kind of easy components. So at the top, I mentioned that 17% of our industry would go through marketplace. That's the way money changes hands, perhaps by the end of this year. By the end of the decade, it's probably 1/3 of our industry. So it is big. It's trillions of dollars. It's broken into really 3 types of marketplaces. I call it a hyper marketplace. In the B2B space, there's going to be a lot of money spent through Amazon and Amazon for Business. There'll be a lot of money spent through Alibaba for Business, etc. In the middle, there are super marketplaces. So we're not going to have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of big marketplaces. We're going to have 20. We already know who 15 of them are, and we have a guess who the next 5 are. But AWS, Microsoft, and Google are already winners in the super space. On the SaaS side, you've got Salesforce, ServiceNow, Workday, Marketo, NetSuite already emerging as winners, HubSpot as really impressive marketplaces. On the more legacy side, you've got IBM, SAP, Oracle, who will be successful in their marketplaces because they're $100 billion companies. You've got Dell, who's late to the game as being the e-commerce golden child of the 90s, who just missed this entire marketplace opportunity. And they're late to the game, but I bet that they're going to become, one of the players. And so we're building out this list of 20 who I think will take 80% of the marketplace spend. So that's really important. That's not only hardware, software, and services. It's that $5.32 multiple at Google. More and more is going to go that way. There's a whole bunch of reasons why, but the most important is enterprise credits. They've stopped trying to do permutations as distributors do at a SKU level. They've just given up and said, Bank of America, just buy $10 million in credits with Google this year. You can take them down any which way you want. If you can find more stuff to buy, like hardware and other stuff, go at it. The more you can consume, the bigger discounts you get. There is no more rogue IT. The CFO loves it. Everybody's on this chase to spend more with Google. It's like, you don't want to be on airlines, like 9 different airlines collecting points, because you're going to be a silver member on 9 airlines. You want to go with one and become that platinum gold level, service. So the same thing goes with enterprise credits. That's in the middle. On the third side of the marketplace, which is 20% of the opportunity, is what I'll call niche marketplaces. When I went back and talked about 35 million customer conversations, there is literally 35 million marketplaces that somebody could build today. If you want to build a marketplace for mid-sized clinics in upstate New York in front of a marketing buyer, you can go do it. Are you going to be successful? Absolutely not. But if you start to take back a step on those 5 vectors and say, what about mid-sized clinics nationwide? It's highly curated. So it's HIPAA compliant, high-tech compliant. It's curated that everything works together. So I don't have to go into the vast Microsoft marketplace where everybody and their dog is over there. As a mid-sized clinic, I can walk in and see, a nicely, tightly curated list of things that are going to work together, including service partners that can do it. And it's going to be a really interesting place to buy. Right now, there are thousands of marketplaces that are sustainable and repeatable that are working. I think there will be 10,000 plus, over the course of this decade. There are only a few companies behind all of those. These 10,000 marketplaces are not going to be homegrown, wireframes, e-commerce, all the, stuff to make it work. They're going to go to companies like AppDirect. They're going to go to Miracle in Europe. They're going to go to Ingram Cloud Blue. But they're going to go to companies like this that actually bring you in a catalog of thousands of vendor products. So now I can start up my mid-sized clinic marketplace, but I already have the Microsoft 365. I already have, Salesforce. I already have like the basic level technology that I need. I don't have to go build relationships with all those companies. It comes in as my catalog. And now I can curate that and I can add on the very specific things for my buyer and my industry and my geography. And now I have a marketplace that I can build in days and start to tax and monetize, a platform level of leadership to a certain part of the market.